And let's take a quick look at what's going on in Congress and the bills and things that are before Congress. One of the things that I thought was very interesting was that the car companies, Ford, Chrysler, and GM, are still having economic problems. They're about another 9 months down the road. They're going to spend all of their available cash, and they don't have to actually have a line of credit. Now, what people don't know, and I'm going to tell people right now, was that actually the end of September, the Congress and the President together signed a bill authorizing a $25 billion loan to the automakers to help them come up to standard to meet the new EPA, regulations. Now the auto companies are coming back to the federal government and are asking for $25 billion in a loan to help them be able to meet their requirements. Now, people say that no, some people out there, especially some of the Republicans, and actually Bush, when he was asked about this previously, said that he would not lend the money to them. And I think this is a terrible mistake. I think that economists have looked at these three companies and they looked at how they affect the economy, and they estimated that if one of the companies went out of business, we would lose 2 million jobs. So that's a catastrophic effect on the economy. And down the road, if that was to happen, me and you would end up paying for it anyway, because you have to pick up on the responsibilities of that corporation if they were to go bankrupt. There's still people that are collecting money through their pension funds. So, we would take that on as a responsibility, as well as unemployment and benefits and things of that nature, and retraining of some of these workers. So I think it's important that we get involved in helping the automobile companies or whatever. These are middle-class Americans, and we should require them. There should be accountability that they start producing quality cars, fuel-efficient cars, so that Americans can start buying their particular products or whatever. And I think, again, that it's important. We have to keep these car companies afloat because they're just so intertwined within our economy, and I think it would be disastrous if we allow one of them to fail. So that's one of the things that Barack Obama has spoken about, and hopefully out of that $700 billion bill, he's talked about that the government should look into distributing some of that money to them. Now, in terms of that bill, how many of you realize that some foreign banks are trying to apply for some of that money? Yes, they are. There's some foreign banks that are out there trying to get some of that $700 billion. And then one of the things that should make you mad is, my understanding is, this was to bail out American banks. This is to bail out American banks. Our money's going to foreign companies. Why? It doesn't make any sense. And when you take a look at the bill, if you go online, you start researching some of this information, you find out some other things. When we talked about the whole issue of compensation for some of these corporate heads, there are loopholes within the bill that they can get around that they can get compensation and stuff. So it's not stopping them from get it undercover in other ways. So I was very, very, very disappointed. And again, I'm proud of Americans that stood up and let their voices be heard when the bailout first came about. And we still have to be speaking to our Congress people to let them know that we want accountability, that we don't want any loopholes in these bills, and we want the money to be spent properly. Now, if you want to talk about political influence in Congress, that's another thing that's very interesting when we talk about lobbyists. Now, the lobbyists for these banks, all these banks was in trouble, right? There was like 25 of these banks were lobbying Congress from the beginning of the year for this particular bailout, for a bailout. It's very interesting because we have all of these people that talk about the power of Washington, and we're going to go there and we're going to change it. And we look at the beginning of this year, and you see that this particular economics package that we're talking about was being lobbied for way before the stock market was in trouble. Way before the stock market was in trouble. So these people knew what was going on back then. And the Congress knew what was going on back then. And then here they come with their hands out or whatever. And we still haven't done anything on stopping people from losing their homes. Again, we're talking about at the end of the year, you're going to have more than 2 million people that have had houses foreclosed on. And one of the dirty little secrets that they're not talking about is you're looking at the percentages in certain communities. For example, if we looked at Atlanta, Atlanta has a big community down there, black community, that these people have worked all of their lives and they own their homes. A lot of people have taken small loans out to help pay their medical bills or to revitalize their houses. We fixed them, and then they got caught up with this adjustable rate loans, and now a lot of these people are losing their homes. And as you watch other programs, as I talked to you about from AARP, we posted the information about the percentage of older Americans that houses are being foreclosed on.